It's Friday, November 26, 2021. A lot to talk about today, ladies and gentlemen. We are living in a time where there are hand grenades all over the floor. The pins are pulled, and yet there are people walking around blindly. I think that most people watching this video today realize that these markets and this economy are in enormous trouble. Today, yet another reminder of how fast things can happen. And we're going to see more days like this, ladies and gentlemen. They are losing control of this economy. They're losing control of these markets. And they're going to continue to lose more control. And we're going to see more wild volatility in these markets. And this whole thing is a ticking time bomb. And I'm not saying that this whole collapse is starting right now, but we are watching things be triggered. We're going to see more days like the one we saw today. Dow Jones down 905 points today. Now, of course, they're saying it's because of this health crisis. I disagree. I believe it's because of this inflation. I believe it's because of all this money printing, and I believe it's because of this failing economy. That's what I believe is triggering what we saw today, and we're going to see more of it. Oil down 13%. Bitcoin, as I make this video in the early evening here, Bitcoin is down over $5,000, down nearly 9%. Ethereum down 9.5%, XRP down 9.4%, Litecoin down 11%. We were told that these are safe haven assets. This is the place you want to be when things get bad, when the markets turn, when the economy turns. People are going to run into cryptos. Maybe they're right. Maybe they're wrong. Gold right now, as I make this video on CNBC, is up $8 today. It was about the only thing that was up, about the only thing in the green was gold today. What does that mean? Is gold the safe haven asset, or are cryptocurrencies the safe haven asset? You know, every time we've seen big hits on Wall Street, it seems like the cryptos get hit even worse. So I don't know if this means anything, but I'm going to continue to be buying gold. I'm going to be continuing to buy hard, tangible assets that I can hold, that I can get to. And as I'm watching this catastrophe today, and look, things could be up 1,000 points Monday. Who knows? The volatility, this is not normal, okay? But I'm very concerned because I believe that this is another red flag of what is coming. They're losing control. And as they continue to lose control, I say to myself, as I'm driving by my bankrupt mall today, the old Westfield Mall, the sign's down, they took the sign down. It's in foreclosure, and there are people there spending money, many spending money that they don't even have to buy things they don't even need. But as they're there spending money, I'm thinking to myself, who in their right mind would be out spending money today? Yes, I know it's the holidays. I know that, people have to buy things for their kids and spouses. I get it, but it's hard to digest all this when you see a day like today where the Dow Jones, markets across the board slam, Dow Jones down 905 points, and you know what's coming. I know it's coming, and this is why we're getting ready. But who in their right mind would be spending money, especially if you don't have money to spend? I'm hunkering down because I do feel that something very, very big is right around the corner. And as I said yesterday, avoid complacency, ladies and gentlemen. Do not become complacent. Something very, very big is coming. I want to share a couple articles today. This first one from wolfstreet.com. Red Friday, a little dip, and already the crybabies on Wall Street are clamoring for more of the Fed to soothe their pain. Sellers had arrived overnight while the buyers suddenly weren't interested in buying at these ridiculous inflated record prices after the largest and fastest money printing scheme ever. Remember, 40% of all cash was created in just the last 12 months. And what was interesting was last night, I'm watching these markets. Gold was up over $25 at one point, and they actually brought it down in the red today. They did everything they could to just destroy gold, but it rose up at the very, very end of the day. And depending on what site you're looking at, if it's CNBC, Fox Business, Kitco has it down, Fox and CNBC have it up. I've got it up $8 right now. But it's absolutely amazing to watch this assault on precious metals. But they're losing their power. Now the crybabies on Wall Street have gone out in force, clamoring for the Fed to end the tapering of its asset purchases and to push out the expected interest rate hikes into distant infinity and maybe even restart QE all over again, because they're clamoring for all this because stocks cannot drop. But the Fed, unlike before, has bigger worries for the first time in 4 decades, ladies and gentlemen. Raging consumer price inflation, which has spread broadly across and deeply into the economy, filtering into services such as rents that are unrelated to transportation problems and production shortfalls in Asia, completely unrelated. And rents continue to go up. This Black Friday, they need people more than ever to run up those credit cards and prop up the economy by spending and splurging with more borrowed money. And that's who's exactly at the mall today. This is who will be out on these Black Friday sales tonight. Look, there are people who know what is happening. Take a look at how many people sold massive amounts of tech stocks over the last couple weeks. Why is that? What did they know? Yet, so many zombies out there, going to be out there tonight, these Black Friday specials. They're at the malls right now, spending money that they don't even have. These people are going to be absolutely punished when the stock market collapses, when this economy completely implodes. These people are going to be punished. A couple articles that I read over the past couple days I thought were really interesting. Apple halts product sales in Turkey amid economic crisis. Turkey's got big trouble. What kind of trouble? They got hyperinflation trouble. Wine prices went up 15% in one day. Chicken and cheese went up 10% in one day. People don't believe something like this could ever happen right here. But we've seen this happening in Lebanon. We're seeing it happen here in Turkey. We see what's happening in Venezuela, Brazil, all over Latin America, all over the world. And this inflation is not transitory. It's not temporary. It is affecting the entire world. And it's becoming a real problem. When you look at $300 trillion of global debt too, and you see every country printing fiat currencies racing to the bottom, this is going to be a bigger and bigger problem globally. And here it's rearing its ugly head in Turkey. And what would you do? You have to ask yourself, if prices began to just get out of control and you saw prices of food rising 10 or 15% in a day, what would you do? Could you weather the storm? These are things we've got to be asking ourselves, ladies and gentlemen. And it's not even now the question of inflation, but it's a question of will you down the road even be able to get the food? Because we keep hearing about empty shelves. We hear about the shortages of food. And we can talk about inflation till we're blue in the face, but what about a real food crisis where it just doesn't show up to the store, where you've got real food shortages? That's a big problem. And so as I make this video today, make sure that, maybe you're not going to Best Buy to buy a big screen because you already have 2 or 3 of them. Maybe you need to be going to a grocery store and buying extra cans of food and water. Maybe you need to be calling up an emergency food company and ordering some, emergency food for 3 months, 6 months, a year, and just covering your bases and really being prepared, because there's just something that tells me that we're going to see some real serious trouble in 2022. Here's another article coming from CNBC. China's real estate uncertainties persist, fueling market anxiety. Another ticking time bomb here with Evergrande and Fantasia and a list of other huge development companies over there. Nobody knows what's going on, especially foreign investors, pensions, big American banks. We don't know how exposed these huge companies here in America are to these Chinese development companies. And if something starts imploding in China, we're going to feel a massive effect here. Investors are going to feel the effect here. And this could have a huge effect on our stock market, on our housing market here. I cannot relay this message enough that you really need to be preparing. You need to really be hunkering down. You really need to be careful where you're spending money. And there's going to be a lot of money spent over this holiday season, especially by people who don't have the money to spend. Over the past year with all the stimulus and benefit checks, people were able to pay down the credit cards, and now they're returning to those credit cards to splurge for the holiday. And we have over 50 million people who haven't even paid off last holiday's credit card bill. And they're back out spending now at the worst possible time. I'm not telling anybody out there not to go out and buy your kids gifts or spend some money for the holidays. But I'm telling everybody out there to be very, very careful and conscious of what you're buying, how much you're buying, because there's a major downturn coming. And today is yet another reminder of how fast things can shift, how volatile things are. And this is nothing. We're going to see more days like this coming. I'm not saying they're coming Monday or next week, but this is another reminder. And at some point, the Fed is not going to be able to save the day, ladies and gentlemen. The Fed is going to have to do something about this inflation, and people are going to feel the pain. Interest rates are going up. That means the cost to borrow money is going to go up. Your credit card payment could go up. The cost to go buy a new car when you borrow money is going to go up. The cost to buy a house, that mortgage payment, those mortgage rates are going to go up. It is going to slow this economy down. In fact, it's going to put a halt to the economy. So you better be ready for what is coming. Another article today, North American fertilizer shortage sparks fears of higher food prices. Fertilizer prices exploding, and this is going to make the price of food go up. So we've got fuel prices, even though oil got slammed today, expect fuel prices to continue to surge. And now fertilizer. So look, food's got to go on the trucks. The tractors that plant the fields, harvest the fields, need fuel. The trucks to deliver that to the store, fuel prices go up. Fertilizer prices go up. Everything is going up, and that means that those beans, that corn, the lettuce, the onions, everything is going to go up. Everything, ladies and gentlemen, the ingredients in the food that you buy at the grocery store, or whether you go out to eat, all those ingredients are growing on a farm somewhere, right? And again, the cost of transporting the fertilizer, everything is going to continue to go up. Sitting out the season, a record number of Americans say they won't be buying holiday gifts this year. This was on CNBC, very interesting. The National Retail Federation predicts record gains of 8.5% to 10.5% from year ago levels, but a record amount of people, 11.5% of Americans, aren't buying any gifts this holiday season. I mean, that's a huge number. And if you saw this number any other year, it would literally be a depression for holiday shopping. But wealthy consumers are planning to spend more than ever, which will mask the fact that many others are sitting out the season. So what are the real wealthy spending on? Well, they're going to be buying Bentleys, and they'll be buying Lamborghinis. They'll be buying private jets, buying yachts. So that top 1%, they're spending money like crazy. They're taking that fiat monopoly money and they're going out and buying real things. They're buying art. They're buying collectible cars. They're buying farms, ranches, beach homes. They're buying real hard tangible assets with this monopoly money, while the average American is going to be sitting it out, or buying less, or just splurging with their credit cards, getting farther and farther into debt. So this is going to be a very odd and interesting holiday season in regards to shopping. Another article today on the Wall Street Journal: supply chain snarls leave Southern California swamped in empty shipping containers. Will this ever get fixed down in Long Beach and Los Angeles? It is such a chaotic time at these shipping terminals. And I was reading something yesterday that some company just got their container delivered that they ordered in June. This is just absurd. It's ludicrous what is going on. The only thing we export out of Southern California, ladies and gentlemen, is air, and it is suffocating the supply chain. We have no place to put incoming containers because we have so many empty containers now sitting at the ports that when we unload these ships, we have no idea where to even put the incoming containers. So they said in the article that we have 110,000 empty containers stacked on top of one another down at the ports. Thousands are parked in private yards, and thousands parked just all over LA County on streets in front of people's houses. What a disaster. It really makes you wonder. It really makes you wonder what's going on. If we can't unload ships, if we cannot get these containers where they need to go, what other real serious problems do we have that we're not even hearing about? This is not a good sign. And again, another red flag of why you need to be your own central bank, why you need to have some cash put away, why you need to have hard tangible assets, and why you really need to be thinking outside of the box and out of the system as much as you can get out of the system. You need to be self-sufficient now, ladies and gentlemen, as much as you can. You need to be detaching from the system as much as you can. The system is melting down. The Hedge today: latest Treasury, Fed, and BIS reports confirm all twisted paths lead to gold. 10-year bond yield right now, I just checked, is 1.48%. So with real inflation, the real yield is around negative 13.5%. That's what you're going to get if you tie up your money for 10 years. That's the yield. You'll only lose 13.5% of your money. So I don't understand why more people don't wake up and see why this is so important. This, to me, is the biggest hedge against what is beginning to happen. This is betting against the debt, ladies and gentlemen. When you own this stuff right here, you are betting against the debt. You are getting out of the system. So as more truth destruction takes place, more currency debasement, more liquidity, more inflation by rate suppression, maybe having this little barbarous relic right here isn't a bad idea. And I do believe, ladies and gentlemen, as I close this video out, I believe that gold will have the last word. This little yellow barbarous relic that everybody told you not to buy was about the only thing that held up today with all this chaos. And yes, there's volatility in gold and silver, especially silver, and there's more volatility coming. But I would rather be holding this in my hands, holding this in places I can get to, holding something with a 5,000-year history, because I truly do believe gold will have the last word. Bet against the debt, bet against the system, because the system is melting down. I don't give financial advice, but I can tell you what I'm doing. And what people I know around me are doing. They're getting out of the system. They're betting against the debt. They're buying hard tangible assets like gold, like silver. And they're exercising patience, because this whole thing is going to come down, and it's not going to happen tomorrow or the next day, but it's on its way down. And people who have some cash, who have assets, and who have a plan, who are exercising patience, they're going to win this game. They will have the last word. They are going to capitalize on the sales that are coming. Ladies and gentlemen, if you saw what I saw today, and as I've said many times in the past, when I see these massive melt-ups, it scares me. And today was just a reminder of what's to come. It's going to be much worse. So get ready. Make sure you're protecting yourself mentally, physically, spiritually, and financially. Have a good weekend. Take the weekend to not be complacent, but take the weekend to go and top off the items, the essentials that you need. It's a good weekend to go add a little bit more food, a little bit more water, maybe buy an ounce of gold, an ounce of silver, maybe pay off some debt, because you know exactly what is about to happen. Look, this could be 6 days away, it could be 6 months away, it could be a year or two away. I don't know. But what I'm doing is I'm taking every day that I have to put the odds in my favor to survive this thing and to get ready, because it's going to be a very, very rough time. And we don't know if it's going to last a year, which more than likely it's going to be much, much longer than that. Is it going to last 5 years, 10 years, 15 years? Look, we know the Great Depression lasted over a decade. So be ready, because this is going to be a rough time for everybody. It's going to be an excruciating financial nightmare for most people. And the scary thing is, most people are not prepared to deal with what's coming. They're out shopping at the mall today. They're out buying things with their plastic credit cards. They're out there hoping that things are going to get better while they go farther and farther into debt. Don't be one of the masses, ladies and gentlemen. The masses are going to lose. They're going to lose bad. Get ready, get prepared. God bless. Look forward to talking with all of you very, very soon.